To finish out today for our Rotary, we have a guest speaker, and to introduce our guest speaker is Candace. No, I know. Candace, I know, sorry, I'm like, that's not, as soon as I said it, I was like, that's not.
Wait, what's the last one?
It's okay, I answered the worst. Hello, everyone. As you know, my name's Candace, former Rotarian. Currently, I sit on the board of directors for Freed's Cat Shelter. This cat shelter is near and dear to my heart, actually, because my grandma was obsessed with this shelter. It is the only no-kill shelter in Michigan City. And after she passed away, I kind of got involved more and more. I now sit on the board of directors, which I'm sure sometimes I drive Sandy nuts, but it's okay. So I would like to take this time to introduce Sandra Odell. She is the executive director of Freed's Cat Shelter. She has been running the shelter for 28 years. It is a former motel. It's located on Highway 212. And it was started by the Freeds, and I'm gonna let her talk about it. And she also has a very special guest who is actually the perfect example of what Freed's Cat Shelter is. So, you're welcome.
Well, the shelter was founded by Hans and Lucille Freed, and they came to America in the early 40s. And they actually had a really lovely home in Beverly Shores. They sold to create, found Freed's Cat Shelter. And Hans always felt that there should always be a home for a kitty that nobody actually ever wanted. And come here, sweetheart. This is very important. The shelter is important as well because we don't turn any kitties away regardless of their health or well-being.
He just had a bath, just so you know.
And he's a little nervous, so they shed a lot more when they're nervous. We have our main building, and we also have a separate building that we house special needs kitties in. We have some leukemia positive, something called FIV positive, and diabetic cats in there as well. And we also, on the table, we've got some pictures of some other special kitties that Candace has a tiny habit of spoiling.
If you follow me on Facebook, which a lot of you do, you know I share obsessively about these cats on Facebook. Mostly because I can't take them home.
They're
So,
really, they're our blind kitties.
Yeah.
They have a special room where everything stays exactly the same, we remove nothing. And they get along really well. And this is Yoda. Yoda was born with a hip dysplasia, and he walks like that. So he has to be, come here, Yoda. There we go.
about a year old.
He has, because of the way his hips, it's a genetic disorder, he was born that way. He cannot be in any area where he's allowed to jump or climb on anything, because he doesn't have the ability to right himself the way normal cats do. So, and that's,
You're gonna hide under the table.
come here, buddy.
You're gonna hide under the table, huh?
Yoda, come here, sweetheart. No.
So the purpose of Freed's Cat Shelter is, no matter what a cat's condition, no matter what their illness, no matter what their ailment, as long as they are living a healthy, happy life, they have a home for life.
They have a home, behavior, habits, bad behavior, whatever. The shelter was built for them, that is their home, and they will stay there their whole life if that's what happens.
If you look on your table, there is this one right here.
Is that a key?
I don't think so. He's just really fluffy and really big.
He's got the face.
This is another example of cats with behavior issues. This is my friend Jerky Brian. I say he's my friend because I love him. I don't think he likes me. But he has an anxiety issue. And when he hears other cats or he gets overstimulated, he bites. So naturally, he's probably not going to find a home with people who understand his condition. He never has to hear, and there's no risk of him getting put to sleep to make room for other cats. So.
No, euthanization, that is the absolute last resort. It's only if their quality of life is to that point where it's kinder to let them cross the Rainbow Bridge as you would. But this little guy is very sweet. He loves other cats. And he's pretty much kind of our therapy cat for other cats that need therapy. Because I do have some kitties that have a cerebral hypoplasia, which is a neurological disease. And they basically look like they're drunk, walking around, they can't. And he's very good. He's very good at socializing other kittens that don't particularly care for people. As you can see, he's very loving. Very sweet little guy.
Currently, there are about 300 cats at Freed's Cat Shelter. We do have a very small staff. We have 2 administration, 1 full-time woman who works in the back with all of our special needs cats, and 5 part-time employees. So we rely heavily on volunteers. I personally volunteer 1 Sunday morning a month and scoop cat boxes and mop floors. It's not a glamorous job, but it has to get done.
Rewarding.
Huh?
Rewarding.
Some days.
Rewarding
It
for
always is. It always is. We are open Friday, Saturday, Sunday from noon to 4. If you would like to volunteer and come in before we are open to clean, go ahead and reach out to Sandy. If you would like to come in during the week, you are more than welcome to volunteer. And if you would just like to come in and play with the cats, believe it or not, that is actually a great way to help with a very small staff. They don't have time to sit and play with cats, except for Yoda, because let's face it, he's absolutely adorable and you can resist him.
How many cats do we get at once?
It's a cage in the shelter. So
All the cats at once.
you don't get all the cats at once, they're kind of separated into rooms. How many cats are in the big room right now? In the big room, there are about 40 cats.
I'm a dog person, but I will set the room for the cats.
Yeah, I have so many pictures of friends and family, because of course, Freed's Cat Shelter, everybody. And they kneel down on the ground and all the cats are like coming to them. It's so awesome. But otherwise, there are other rooms where there are smaller batches of cats. Let's face it, not all cats get along with other cats, just like not all people get along with other people. So we try and group them together with other felines that match the same temperament and personality. So we even have a bully bin for all the cats that are running into the other cats. We just kind of stick them in a bin together and they do get out in, well, their pecking order there.
It's turkey
And
bacon.
then
There we go.
No, Jerky Brian is another Jerky.
Turkey bacon, I love bacon.
Oh, Jerky Brian, his name is actually just Brian. I added the jerky. So,
He's just Brian to me because obviously.
yeah, he's fairly easily won over with cat treats. So bring your own treats.
So good.
We also have a TNR program, a trap neuter release program, that is run on Wednesdays, and I will let Sandy talk about that.
It stands for Trap, Neuter, Return. What we're doing is we're trying to control the feral population of cats in the Michigan City area and surrounding areas. We do help some shelters that based out of Michigan and Fairhaven, so it just. So there is no cost, but we do ask for whatever your best donation could be because all the money goes right back into the program. And we are stopping the reproduction because a single female cat ferals can usually live about 10 years old. They can have 2 to 3 litters a year. And those litters can be anywhere between 2 to 5 or 6 kittens. And that's 3 times a year for 10 years. And that's just one cat. Okay, so that's why we are trying our hardest to try and control that because there are cats everywhere. And just because they're wild cats doesn't mean they don't have a right to live and just be the little wildcat self.
And everybody in the TNR program is a volunteer, including the veterinarian who performs the surgeries.
Yes, she's a wonderful lady. She volunteered all her time for the TNR and she also volunteers her time for the shelter as well. She is there for us 24 hours a day. Any questions I have, emergencies, she will come in and take care of for us. She will consult us on other issues that we have with our kitties. She'll also spay and neuter our cats, our own personal kittens that come in the door. So she has been a great blessing to the shelter and the whole cat world in Michigan City.
And you guys have a Facebook page?
Yes, we
That
do.
we can follow and
Mhm.
get updates on? And you guys are right there, it's in Westville, right?
No, we are on 212, on Highway
Oh,
212.
okay, I was
Michigan
towards
City.
Michigan. Is there another one?
Yeah.
On, in Westville?
Mhm.
Is that,
6, I
Six.
think, or county line, something like that.
okay. Are you guys the same organization?
No, actually, Hans and Lucille founded Independent Cat Society,
In Westville?
yes.
Okay.
But there were issues and they left there and opened their own shelter, Freed's Cat Shelter in Michigan City.
That'd probably be good if they're just, I was thinking Westville this whole time. I didn't even know there was.
No, we're
I
not-
heard 212, but I went to 6. So,
No, right by
That's okay.
2012.
okay.
Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Yeah.
Who was the veterinarian? She
I just
likes
wonder if it's the
to,
one that
She
I
kind
I
of
was like,
likes
she
to
likes to be
remain
kept quiet.
anonymous,
so.
because she actually has had people Google her and show up at her house
I think
for
that's-
things, so.
That's such an amazing gift to do all that at no cost.
And if
Very
she
much
would
so.
want the notoriety, we would be more than happy to give it to her, but she likes to do things very quiet.
She does. Very good. The shelter was founded in 77, so it's been in that area, in that location. There's flyers on here from our latest newsletter. And there's a flyer that gives more of a detailed history of the shelter and Hans and Lucille and things that we do. We do not adopt our kittens out until they are at least 12 weeks old and fully vetted. That way, because we used to give vouchers, but we kept having cats come back. People never took the voucher and had them fixed. So now, just to make sure it happens, they stay till they're 12 weeks old, they get spayed, neutered, up to date on all their shots, they're given
You're
flea
in compliance,
medication.
Pat.
And
And they live longer lives too, right?
Yes.
I mean, with this, on average.
Cats and dogs,
use,
yes.
so-
It reduces their risk of a lot of ailments if you don't.
And for the females too, before 6 months, right? Is like the
Uh,
ideal, before the first cycle or
Before the
after?
first cycle.
Okay.
It's
I've
never,
heard 2 different ones, like 2
You-
cycles, 1 cycle, like no cycle.
no. That's, I don't know, I mean, I think there are some like breeders who believe that.
Yeah.
But
You could just.
12 weeks, get it done before they even, the hormones even kick in. And
It's all
they're
good
a lot
breeders.
healthier, and the same thing with the boys. Because once they hit 6 months, they're gonna start looking at their sisters, okay? Because their hormones have started, and they don't care, the animal kingdom doesn't care about family or, you know. And so, before 6 months to get the boys, because once they learn that behavior of spraying, you can almost never get it out of their head, because it's a learned behavior.
And with fixing them, does that avoid continence in that animal?
Does it
Also, in
what?
the future, I don't know if you have the issue with cats, but some dogs, kind of, if they get excited, release a little bit, like incontinence. Like dribbling pee.
Cats
So the
usually
cats don't have that
don't really
problem?
do that,
Okay.
but yeah, it's very important to get them when they're young. Because it's actually very stressful for them to go through the heats, and for an adult intact male wanting to breed but can't. Because all they're knowing is that they're being driven to do it, and it literally drives them crazy not to be able to do it. So it's really important, cats and dogs.
Do they lose that drive after the spay and neuter, like?
After the spare the neuter, yes, because the uterus is completely removed, and with the boys, the testicles are removed as well. So it takes about 2 weeks for the boys, for the testosterone to get out of their body. But if it's done late, like I said, it can be a learned behavior, so they'll still try sometimes. You know, to the poor little girl that wants nothing to do with him, he's trying.
You mentioned compliance, and just out of curiosity, like how are you regulated? Is there are there regulations as to how many cats you can have, based on space?
Indiana passed a law that cats need to be spayed before they leave the shelter,
Oh,
or
gotcha.
require an additional $75 deposit, so.
Gotcha.
And
I was
there's
just
no-
joking with Pat.
And there's no limit of how many cats you have on site.
That we have outside.
That
In
you can
general.
have on site.
You can have
No,
150
because at one
Any
point,
regulations you
At
can follow?
one point, before I came to the shelter, there was 1,000 cats between 2 buildings. But that's a ridiculous amount of number, and you can't function that way.
As
You
long
can't.
as we're sanitary and
Yes, yeah.
clean.
And I've had health department calls, they come in, all I can smell is bleach. Okay, you know, so we're very, you know, we keep the staff It's cleaned top to bottom every day. The only day no one's there is on a Monday. But I also live on the premises, so I'm there almost 24 hours. So I'm there on Mondays to do all medications, and I get to check everybody and make sure everything's the way it needs to be. And we also have a feral colony. Like I said, just because they're wild doesn't mean they don't deserve to live. And, you know, I don't ever see any mice around.
You don't get gifts?
Who's your favorite?
There are none.
We don't play favorites, but it's Piper.
Wait, you took Piper home, did you?
No.
Or you brought it home for a little bit or something?
No.
And I have
Piper's
dogs
always
at home.
I've seen the name on your posts.
Oh, I'm there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with her.
How many do you have? 6?
I have 7 cats at home.
I was close.
Most of them are free trustees.
I have
So,
2 dogs.
Oh, see?
A 14-year-old pit, which is my grandpa, and about a 3-year-old little boxer greyhound mix. She's ridiculous.
That sounds insane.
but yeah.
The energy level on that dog is crazy, but she's a good girl.
Are you guys looking for any, so I know you said volunteer work, but I know some of them kind of in a situation where they're looking for work, and income wise is not very major to them, just sometimes they come to keep them busy. Are you guys looking for any part-time, full-time, they're?
Well, we're always taking
tax.
applications.
Okay.
I will be having someone leaving because she's graduating and going off to college.
Okay,
It's maybe about 3 hours a day, just a little something if somebody needs something to do type of deal.
And look who you get to hang out with every day.
well, she'll be there for more than 3 hours, you'll be like, we'll take you for an hour, and she'll be like, for 12 hours.
That's,
We
Like
actually,
12 hours for that.
one of our current employees was a volunteer and he did such an amazing job, they hired him.
Yes.
So we've got a really great staff right now.
yeah, it's nice, laid back, relaxing. Thank you.
Does anybody want to come say hi to Yoda? before we go
Yes.
check in?
Okay.
Is he okay with dogs?
We'll find out.
I mean, he's gonna do more damage to him than
I
he's
was
gonna
gonna
do
say
to.
he was.
I
okay.
don't get the puppies very
Yeah,
often.
you guys can all say hi on the way out.
That's why I was late, I was searching for him. I've tried hiding like the other dog's bed, you know, so like, cause they are scared to death of it. Like the 15-year-old and the 130-pound dog, they run out of the room. You can tell when he goes to the room,
Like I
you're
said,
like,
Yoda is like a perfect.
Really fast,
he
and then the
absolutely
big
loves
steps fly.
my-
All right,
See, Yoda's like
We have
a
to let
perfect
you
cat,
go.
he's like,
Yep.
loves
Yes,
so
everybody.
you need to go ahead.
Yeah, that was-
Meeting's really over. You
Meeting's
can check,
over.
you can pet the cats and dogs on your way out if you want, that's fine.